Hi, and welcome to Straight Shot Radio. My name is Johnny Slick, and I'm the head coach at Straight Shot Training. This is the final episode in our Training at Home series, and we are going to be talking about something that you really need to remember when you get back into your training programs as gyms open back up and you kind of get back into your routine or you start a new routine. Something that you have probably been doing over the past 8 weeks that you need to keep doing is working out less. I know it's kind of weird for a coach to be telling you to work out less or to be using a platform where we talk about exercise to talk about not exercising, but in reality, a lot of you are feeling way better because you are not beating your bodies to death day in and day out without recovering properly. You have been forced to recover and rest because the gym has been taken away from you, and you probably haven't had, some of you don't have any equipment at home. Some of you have some equipment, but it's not as much as you would have at the gym. Some of you have some weights, but it's not going to be all of the weight that you were putting on yourself when you were at the gym. Some of you, the time that you have to work out has changed. Some of you actually have less time than you did before to work out because it's not completely carved out into your day like it was when you had your gym time appointment or your class that you went to, or classes. Maybe there's a ton of classes that you were going to back, and you just were getting burnt out and beat up and tired. And when you're training like that and you're not recovering enough, you actually aren't going to be making the progress that you're trying to make. You're going to be getting really tired and you're going to be really sore, but that doesn't actually mean you're getting any better. It's going to actually be really hard, if not impossible, for you to get better if you're not recovering. So over the past couple of months, you've been forced to recover. You might notice that your joints might feel a little bit better. You probably are sleeping more, or maybe sleeping better. Hopefully you are. I really hope you are. I know that stress plays a large role in this, so I'm not going to say that everybody is doing great when it comes to sleeping better and more. But chances are with your work schedule changing and your workout schedule changing, a lot of you have been sleeping better. And you have a little bit more time to focus on your recovery because you're not spending so much time in the gym. So now that we're getting back into gyms being back open, because obviously, extended periods of recovery are totally fine. You didn't lose as much fitness as you think that you did during this time. Sure, things might be feeling better, but also muscles are getting tight. You may have lost a little bit of muscle mass. You may have gained a little bit of weight. But all that stuff over time, you can get back to where you want it to be. But you need to keep in mind that the way you were working out before may not be the type of working out you should go back to. And if you are finding yourself feeling good now that you've taken this time to recover, then you need to remember that that's what your body still needs when you get back to the gym. So you need to figure out, well, how can I find this balance between working out enough to have enough of a stimulus on my body to elicit the response that I want to happen, and how do I recover enough for my body to actually be able to do that? Sorry, there's a dude in a souped up Jetta just driving up and down the driveway beside me. He picked a great time, or I guess I picked a great time. So if that's the noise in the background, I apologize. So when it comes to your recovery, you're going to have to find a balance. And I'm hoping that maybe over the past couple of months of forced recovery, you've realized the importance of it. So what does that look like practically for you going back to working out? It's going to be different for everybody, but I would say when you start working back in the gym, you need to err on the side of under stimulating yourself when it comes to the workouts. So the workouts should be a little easier when you start back up. Maybe like 70% of the weights that you were using, then add a little bit each week. We talked about this in a previous podcast. When it comes to recovery, you want to err on the over side. So, give yourself an extra day of recovery. If you've gone from working out 5 days a week to now working out 1 to 2, maybe 0 days a week, you can't go back to 5. Start back up with 2 or 3, and have those other days of recovery, and then add a week if you're able to recover. If you're able to recover, this means you're not still super sore from the last workout on that body part when you're going into the next workout. So if you work out on Monday and you're still so sore on Wednesday you can barely move, probably better to do more of like an active recovery workout than a heavy lift, because you're not going to be able to do it. Yeah, you're probably going to be really tired. So if you're feeling super tired, super sore, maybe give yourself another day of recovery in between there. As for your sleep, sleep is so underrated when it comes to your recovery that if you can try to get similar amounts of sleep as you've been getting, obviously some of you've been maybe getting way more sleep than you'd be able to once you go back to your job. Of course, I know a lot of you listening are essential workers who your schedules haven't changed. In fact, maybe they've changed and you're even busier. But if you have been getting more sleep, trying to get a similar amount of sleep, most people who are working out 4 to 6 days a week, you're going to need at least 7 hours of sleep, 8 preferably, to recover from that. Really, nobody should be getting that much less than 7. I know you say you feel okay on it, but trust me, you'll feel better if you sleep more. Now, you can sleep too much. If you're sleeping 9-10 hours and you're waking up groggy, you may be sleeping a little bit too much. So you got to find that sweet spot for yourself. But prioritize your sleep and prioritize those rest days when you come back. And then as for your workouts, keep them a little lighter and a little shorter than what you used to do, and then gradually increase the amount that you're doing each workout before you add an extra day of training. So get your sleep where you need it to be, and to have those rest days built in, and then what you're doing on each of those days, try to increase the amount of work that you're completing. So more, whether you're adding repetitions or weight or sets or exercises, whatever your goal is, it's going to be a little bit different. But as you're increasing the amount of work that you are performing, eventually you'll get to the point of where you're doing a decent amount of work in that hour that you're working out. And when you're ready to move on, you feel like you've recovered enough, then you go ahead and add another day of that. So you're going to be losing one of your recovery days, but if you've built it up, let's say over the course of the first 4 weeks getting back into the gym, your body should be recovered enough to where you're really not getting that sore after some of these workouts, and you could add another day and have that day on the lighter side, and then gradually build that day up, and then maybe you built yourself up to 3 days or up to 4 days, and then you're ready to add another day after that. So I would not jump right back into, I know you want to see all your friends at the gym. If you want to go in every day, go in and do something really light, on a bike or an elliptical, or do some core work. I'll just say just to kind of prepare you, the gym experience is not going to be the same as it was, and it's not going to be the same as it was for a long time. And for a lot of you, it's not going to be the same ever, depending on where you're at and how your friends are feeling about working out, and maybe their routines have changed, maybe they're doing different things, maybe they found a different gym. It's going to be different. So go in with the expectation of it being different, and just kind of rolling with whatever it is, and you'll have a much better time. But I know a lot of you want to go in there and see your friends, and hopefully you can get in all at the same time into the gym, because there's going to be at every gym restrictions on how many people can be in there. But if you need to go in more than the couple of times a week that you really should, to ramp you back up depending on what you've been doing, just go in and do something light and use that as like an active recovery day. When I say active recovery, that does not mean doing Tabatas or sprints on the bike, or some people joke around, oh, it's an active recovery day, so I went in and hit a 1 rep max back squat. That's not active recovery. It's also not funny. I mean, you're showing off that you don't know how to recover, and not knowing how to recover is like not knowing how to lift, or not knowing how to run or perform at a sport. It's not something you brag about. It's something you think, hey, maybe I should learn a little bit more about this. I'm not going to brag about the stuff that I don't know. Hey guys, I'm really bad at lifting. No, you get better at it. So don't brag about the stuff that you do on your active recovery day. Active recovery is supposed to be recovering, but you're just active while you're doing it. The other thing is, if you are training, still trying to stay at home more, and you want to go in the gym, just a couple of times on those days in between the gym, maybe trying to do some more active stuff at home to just try to get you a little bit more active. I know in the beginning, I framed this as the past 8 weeks you've been recovering. Your body's able to repair maybe some nagging injuries. You might be feeling like you're more rested. Your joints might feel good. You also might have rested too much, because recovery and rest don't mean being sedentary. It means your body being able to get back to homeostasis from whatever micro damage was done from a workout, or whatever increased workload that you were under, and your body has a chance to kind of regroup and repair and build lean muscle tissue and allow you to have everything ready to go for the next time you need to exert yourself. So that's what rest and recovery is. And if you have been over resting, that doesn't necessarily mean you've been recovering. You could just be being sedentary. So trying to increase your activity at home is also going to help you recover better. So some people have been gardening. You might be doing a lot of lawn work. You might be going for more walks with your family, or bike rides or hikes. All of that stuff I highly encourage you to keep up when you get back into your normal gym routine, because you've seen you can get plenty of activity without the traditional gym experience. I know everything I'm saying still sounds like a really bad commercial for me as a personal trainer, but it's true. You don't need a gym to get fit. A lot of us have been staying fit and doing what we're doing and actually making some progress while working out at home. And a lot of you who were in the gym for 6 days a week have seen, what, I can probably go back to the gym 3 times and spend those other 3 days doing these things that I found out I really like doing. I really like riding bikes with my family. I really like going on hikes. I really like being outside. The weather's really nice out. It's summer now. It was like March whenever we started the quarantine, and now there's tons of stuff to do outside. So I would suggest that you kind of audit your recovery experience, or reflect back on the past 2 months and see what it is that you liked about the lowered workload that you were under when it comes to the amount of physical stress on you with your workout. What do you like about it? What feels better? What things have you started to do now that you really like doing and you want to keep doing? What things do you know that you need to go back in the gym and start doing? And how can we find a balance between what you're coming back to and the amount of recovery that you've been getting, so that we can find an optimal level where we're doing enough work for you to be making, strides towards those goals that you have, but also how are you balancing that with your recovery to make sure that you actually are getting something out of the workouts you're doing. A workout that you do is only as good as the amount of recovery or level of recovery you have after it, or the program that you're doing is only as good as the program that you can recover from. If you can't recover from it, you're not actually reaping the benefits of that program. So hopefully this I'm trying to speak as general as possible while still getting specific in some ways, because there's so many different ways to come at this. If you're a strength athlete or an endurance athlete, or if you have a lean mass goal, if you want to gain muscle, or if you want to lose body fat, there's so many different ways of looking at it. Doesn't matter what you do though, you need to recover. Even if you're trying to work towards running a marathon or a virtual marathon at this point, you still have to recover. Yes, you will have to be doing more activity than somebody who maybe just has a general fitness goal, but still both of you need to recover. And in fact, if you are training for a marathon, you really need to prioritize your recovery because you have to log so many miles. So think about your recovery, look back over the past 8 weeks and see what do you need to keep and what do you need to go into when it comes to, hey, the gym's back open, here's what I'm going to do now with my program at the gym, and find that balance that's right for you, because it's very individual. Find the balance that's right for you when it comes to your work versus your recovery. If you want to talk to me more about this, you can find me on social media at Straight Shot Training. Ask me any questions that you you might have about, hey, here's what I've been doing. Here's what I want to do when I go back in the gym. What do you think? I'd love to just chat with you about it. You can also shoot me an email, Johnny, Jonny, @straightshottraining.com. You can head over to straightshottraining.com to see what the Straight Shot Training program is all about. It is a subscription functional fitness program where you get 6 workouts a week. Of course, one of those is an active recovery day, and then each day there are harder and easier days depending on the week to make sure you recover well. There's demo videos for everything. Those workouts get emailed to you. For the time being, there's some cool stuff coming up I'll tell you about in a future podcast. But for right now, the emails show up in your inbox, and then you can do those whenever you want to throughout the week. Just pull up your email. You got your exercises and your sets, reps, how long to rest. Everything's written right there for you. And you can do this at home if you're still not ready to go back into a gym or your gym's not open yet. You can do these workouts at home if you have dumbbells and a band. And even if you have no equipment at all, I'm still including body weight only workouts in the program for the next couple of weeks until I know gyms are back open. So you can still just do those body weight workouts at home and stay in shape. So you can head to straightshottraining.com, click on the free month button at the top, or scroll down and click the Let's Get Started button, and we'll get you going with those workouts. Any questions that you want me to cover in future podcasts? We're going to be covering in the next couple of podcasts some new stuff that's coming up with Straight Shot, and then getting into a little bit about the upcoming gym experience and how to optimize what you're doing in the gym, and then also some ideas on, if you're going to train at home, here's some equipment to get now that we're starting to see gym equipment pop back up on the internet for kind of reasonable prices. So we'll be covering some more of that stuff in future episodes, but I also want to hear from you some specific stuff. I'd love to do a question and answer episode where I actually answer specific questions of yours and talk about that in terms of, hey, we're going back into the gym, here's my questions. I want to answer those because a lot of questions that you have might be something that somebody else is thinking too. So I'd love to put that together. I'm going to put something out on social media asking for those questions, but we'll do a Q&A episode here coming up. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great week.